everyone.
Hello, welcome.
Welcome back. So this is a beautiful clearing today.
Yeah.
You're going to enjoy it. Doesn't seem like there's much going on. However, when you sit all the way through it, you're going to see that there was stuff going on.
There was stuff going on.
So,
yeah.
Yes.
So glad that she reached out.
Yeah. So you're going to like this. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like it, leave a comment, tell us how much you like the video or ask questions. It all helps get the word out there of who we are and what we're doing. We really appreciate as much help as you can give us with that. We want to help as many people as we can. And
that's why we're here.
Yep.
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
How we're doing it. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Enjoy this clearing healing. Okay.
All right. Okay. Hello. This is Courtney. Yes. So nice that you reached out to us. We have had a little consultation with Courtney prior to this moment.
Yep.
However, we are going to hear a little bit more. She's going to tell our viewers why you reached out. So if you could do that. I know the energy here has me a little discombobulated.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I'm having a hard time here.
So we opened space before we got on, as we normally do, and it was nothing.
And we were like, okay, well, we'll just, fix some grids and, she'll feel better. No big, this'll, yeah.
Yep. And then we couldn't get logged on.
Yes.
And, yeah. I feel so anxious.
Yes.
So much anxiety.
Yeah. I think I do too. And like, I have to, I know I'm grounded, but the energy is trying to pull me out of being grounded.
Yeah.
And that whole, whatever I said just a minute ago was not really typically I think I speak a little clearer than that, but it didn't come out that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
it's funny when you said you're grounded, and I'm like, yeah, I'm grounded too. I feel my grounding cord. I can feel grounded, but I feel like I'm floating. I feel like my feet want to come up off the ground.
Okay, so like a balloon, helium balloon with a string.
I'm a helium balloon, and my grounding cord is keeping me here.
Yes. All right. Well,
crazy.
Courtney, why don't you tell everyone why you reached out to us, please?
So I found you ladies on YouTube. I watched a lot of your ghost POV videos and your clearing videos. And after watching the last few, I kept thinking to myself, I don't really have any like major paranormal activity. Like, would it benefit me? And I started thinking, and then I watched your most 2 videos ago, I think it was. And then it just hit me like, you have to reach out. And I kept thinking, well, then that means I have to clean the house, and sometimes I'm just super tired and stressed with my OCD and my anxiety, and I'm like, right? And I'm like, oh my god, like, and we're doing renovation, so there's kind of some open construction. It's kind of chaotic. So I'm like, I don't want to show them my messy house, but I know you guys always say you don't care, but I was always like, oh, do I really want to reach out? But I thought, you know what? Reach out. It might help. Just
good for you.
Yeah.
And that was the first time actually I heard, unless you said it during the consultation, I don't remember it. And that will kick up.
Yes, it will.
Up. So go ahead. And we're so glad you did.
I'll go back to the construction part. So my husband, he bought the house before we even started dating. That was about 6-7 years ago. So the house was owned by his grandmother and his grandfather. They bought this plot of land and they built the house in 1968. So the previous homeowner, his grandmother, she lived here. And then she had to go into long-term care because she got dementia. And she was living here for a very long time on her own, just suffering until she could get into long-term care. So I thought, there's the confusion. Sometimes I would get confused the last few months. So I kind of thought, okay, maybe it's just like that energy from when she was here. And then I kind of thought, from watching you guys and learning things from you, maybe she had like shattered pieces or like a soul piece here or something, because she was under a lot of stress. She had a lot of confusion with dementia. As well, my husband did huge renos, like walls came down, some new windows went in, things like that. So that probably stirred up some energy. We're also still in the middle of construction right now, so there's probably still energy
How,
floating around.
how long have you been under construction there?
He bought it in 2016, and he immediately started tearing things down.
Okay, so it's been just a continual kind of this slow, like one room at a
Mhm.
time, and we're going through. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the confusion became worse after that started, or
I didn't move in until about a year after he purchased the
okay,
house.
okay.
So I moved in 2017. He bought the house and started renovating in 2016.
So you've
Um,
always felt that there.
I didn't really feel the confusion until the last few months.
Okay.
The last month and a bit, I haven't really felt it, which is kind of nice.
Yes, yes.
I would be in good conversation with my husband, and I would know what I'm trying to say, but I couldn't find the word for it, and just like, just peculiar things like that.
Okay.
So another reason why I reached out was I have really, really bad OCD and anxiety and occasionally some depression.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured, um, maybe with all my sort of chaotic, stressed out energy, and my husband's, because he's always worrying about me, is
Sure.
causing some issues in the home, or it could just benefit from like a clearing or a healing. Um,
Okay.
what else did I reach out? I have a bunch of notes in front of me so I don't forget what to
Nice.
say.
Good girl. Yeah. Yep. Smart.
As well as we live in Northern Ontario, and Canada has a huge history with Indigenous people and their culture, and not all that history is very, very peaceful or kind or loving.
Sure.
And we have a Indigenous reservation, not even like a 5-minute drive from our house. I believe it's Ojibwe. So I kind of wondered if, maybe some of those spirits or the energy of like what they had to go through, or even just maybe they have their own sort of like spirits or ancestors that are watching the land even now. And maybe that's some of the energy that's, excuse me, kicking up and things like that on the land.
Sure.
Also, where I live, the whole area was really, really big for sort of environmental like destruction. There was heavy mining, heavy logging. We used to have ancient, giant pine trees, and then logging came in and they like decimated it. And with the mining, we were known for kind of having like a moon landscape because the land was just so bare. It was just awful. And they finally started a regreening process in the late 70s where they planted trees. They had to like drop lime on like the barren land, and then fertilizer, and then wait for the grass to grow, and then finally replant trees. So now thankfully it's full of, beautiful trees and greenery, where 100 years
Right.
ago it looked like the moon. That's what the pictures looked like.
Right. No reclamation was done back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Anything else?
One last thing in terms of the paranormal, never really noticed much here. A few years ago, we have this big front window here in the living room, and we had a love seat sitting like right there, and I was sitting there, and the corner of my eye, our driveway is like right there. It was two separate times though. It was probably two separate. It looked like two separate people at separate instances. Just walk, kind of just the corner of my eye, just walk sort of close to the window. And I kind of just chalked it up to being like the corner of my eye, kind of just playing tricks.
We can always find excuses,
Always.
right?
But one, I guess, spirit or whatever it was that I saw looked very, very like how I saw spirits as a child once in a while. And I was like, hey, that looked way too clear to be, I think at the side of my eye. And the one last paranormal thing that I noticed, I'll actually show you because it makes more sense. I'll actually show you the window. In our hallway, we have a small window. I'll try to turn it around. a small window in our bathroom here, and like in the nighttime or even in the day, this part of our house faces the street, so there's cars, people walking by. So whenever they walk by or like there's a car, it'll cast a shadow onto like this wall. So I'll be with my dog in our room, and she'll be like laying there, and once in a while, not all the time, she doesn't really do it anymore. She would look like this way on that wall and kind of bark or growl. And I thought, okay, maybe it's just people, walking by, cars going by, casting a shadow. But she hasn't done it in a really, really long time. She did it maybe a few weeks ago, but nothing since then. So, but I also chalk it up to just being people walking outside. But in the nighttime doesn't really make sense. But
So does she now, if she's on the bed, she'll just pop up and get off the bed and just go in the other room? Maybe go under the bed, but doesn't seem stressed, but just move?
she'll just like kind of get up, look, kind of bark and lightly growl, and then she'll just go back to sleeping or watching TV or whatever on the bed.
Okay. And that's often.
It used to be once in a while, but not as often anymore.
Okay. Because I get that now she just kind of is used to it, and she'll just kind of, if she's bothered, she just gets up off the bed and goes in the other room or goes under the bed, something like that.
Yeah, sometimes she'll hear people outside and she'll kind of get off the bed and she'll walk out here to the living room, look outside, see if anyone's there, and then kind of either make her way back to our room or she'll just sleep on her bed out here.
Okay. All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So start wherever you'd like. Just turn the camera around. Well, you've seen us do it. You know what to do. So,
Okay.
And then ask questions anytime you feel like you need to ask questions.
Okay. So I guess we'll start inside.
Sure.
Okay. So this is just the front door. This is our living room. That's that window I mentioned, the front window where I saw people at the corner of my eye a few times.
Okay.
Don't mind the drywall.
Nope.
That's our dining room. This is just our front entryway.
Okay. We've all had a house under construction, and it's
chaotic.
It is, and it's a long, painful ordeal, but it'll be so worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that's what you tell yourself all the time.
Exactly. This is our dining room. This originally was walled here, and that was the old bathroom.
Okay.
That's just the pantry.
Did your mother-in-law spend time in there? Like around where the table is in that area?
Like my husband's grandmother or like his mother?
Grandmother, yes, his grandmother. Sorry.
I would assume so, because that was the bathroom when she lived here.
Okay.
And this was the dining room when she lived here, and there was just a regular window here.
Okay. Because you can definitely feel her energy there.
Mm-hmm.
She was big in the kitchen. She loved to cook and bake, so this is kind of her zone, the old dining room, and
her happy zone. That was her
happy she loved to bake and cook. So
yeah.
It's like I can feel her sitting at the table waiting for the cookies to finish or something to finish so she could get back into the kitchen.
See, I don't see her sit. I see her continually moving. Like, okay, she's gonna, like, I'm just gonna clean or do this, while both those things could be absolutely true.
Absolutely.
That's her. She was always doing something. She had to be cleaning or cooking, or she's always doing something.
Uh-huh. Ooh, I can smell those cookies. Okay. All right.
This is just what used to be the old dining room window. This is just like a patio door now. And this is what's left of some of the kitchen. Here's some of the old cupboards still. This was a whole wall of cupboards at one point, but we tore that down. And there was also a door back there that went to the basement, and a side door that went out to the garage, but that's all closed in now.
Okay. So go ahead.
No, go ahead.
The entrance to the basement has been moved?
So the basement originally there was a door here,
Yeah.
and that's how you got to the basement.
Yeah.
But now we took down, he closed that off, my husband, and now you get down through here beside the couch.
Okay. Okay.
And then down that way. And that used to be a side door that went out to like the breezeway between the garage and the house into the garage.
Okay.
But that's closed off.
Okay.
When she had dementia, she was still at, excuse me, what I know about dementia, my mother had dementia, is it start to years before it's actually diagnosed, right?
Mhm.
That happens.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything about when she was, so the dementia had already started, maybe she had not been, I don't think she'd been diagnosed yet. And especially back then, it wasn't until it was really bad before they diagnosed it.
Yeah.
But she would make extra food. Have you heard anything about that? She'd make
Yes.
extra food for people.
She went to, I think she suffered about 10 years until she got a diagnosis and got into the long-term care.
Yeah. Yeah.
She would hoard food. Like she would forget she would go grocery shopping and she'd go and drive herself to the grocery store and buy things. And she wouldn't have money in her account because she's been there so many times.
Oh my God.
So thankfully we live in a small town. So the owner of the store had to call, my husband's aunt, like his grandmother's daughter, and say, "Your mom's here again. Can you please pay for the groceries?"
Okay. So there is, the reason I said that is because as what happens with many dementia patients, people, I hate to make it, but anyway, they sort of live in and out of other dimensions. There was an indigenous family that she used to feed. She used to make extra food for. She'd get extra food for. And the man would come along. There was a woman and children as well. I get at least, I'm definitely a daughter and possibly they had a younger son too. I think he may have, I'm not sure. I have to look into that to see what, because he's kind of flashing in and out. So I'm not sure how he fits into the scenario, but they would come and she talked to them and she said, I will feed, because they, in life, they had been, they starved to death. They were tortured to the point where they starved to death. So she, they stayed on the land and they would come and she would feed them and she would promise them food and etc. So that I have, if you could see the hair, all the hairs on my arms are standing up. So
I got the tingles too. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what she was doing. And the man especially still comes around in gratitude.
Okay.
Yeah, he still comes around in gratitude. So
that could be who I feel that walks around the house.
Yes, he's very protective of your home.
Okay.
He can't necessarily do anything, but he is very protective of the home. And that energy actually is what keeps him from crossing over.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't quite understand what's happening. Sometimes his wife and daughter will kind of join him. But it's they feel the wife and the daughter, and then sometimes the son, that feels more like residual, like it's just sort of on a loop, and he sort of joins or they join him once in a while, but he is actually an earthy.
Okay.
Wow, that's convoluted, but that's the way, but that's what's happening there. So she really was trying to feed someone who was in need, and she didn't know the difference.
Right.
Then she would become, she'd be in the 3D and she would be lucid and honestly not really remember. And then there was also part of it where she kept it quiet. Like she thought, I need to be quiet or they'll do something to these people. They'll arrest them and take them away, or, who knows what she thought, but there was that thought, I need to stay quiet. But then there were times when she was totally lucid, she really didn't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, that poor woman. Oh,
Yeah, when my husband bought it, they cleaned out so many like cases of pop and like expired milk and juice and eggs and stuff. Just it was a
for
rough
that
time for
family.
him.
For that
Yeah,
family,
the whole
she
family.
wanted
Yeah.
to, because you give those are all things except for the pop. The pop, but I'm sure for the kids. But the other things, milk, eggs, probably butter, that
Mhm.
kind of stuff. That's all so you can make
Yeah.
bread, you can make pastry, you can make
Mhm.
things. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, okay. I'm ready for you to go if you're
Okay.
if you are.
I am.
All right. That was just that's really sweet though.
It is.
In a sad way, it's very sweet. Okay, go ahead, Courtney. Sorry.
So there's the kitchen again. Dining room, the new dining room, old bathroom.
Yeah, there's definitely a piece of her still there.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about. She might have. Yeah. So this is the new bathroom. This would have been his grandmother's office, and she had 4 children. So this is what I think this was the boys' room for a while,
Okay.
and the girls were in the other bedroom, but they would switch once in a while. But this wall was pushed further that way, and now there's a shower in here. So that wall was how deep this room was at one point.
Okay. Okay, sure.
But there's that window I mentioned with the shadows on the wall, the hallway.
Mhm.
Mhm. Love that color.
Thank you. And that's just the walk-in shower.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
And then there's that wall again with the shadows that I saw on it.
Mhm.
So this is the only room in the house that has not been renovated at all.
Okay.
This was when the kids all left, this was kind of just like a spare room, that kind of thing.
Okay.
That just goes out to the backyard.
Okay.
And then her 2 daughters lived in here for most of their time, but sometimes they would switch with their 2 brothers and go into the other room, which is the new bathroom. But this is just used as a bedroom for many, many years.
Okay. Those of us with big families remember that, the boys and the girls switching, and yes.
Yep.
Hmm.
And that's just the closet.
Okay. Ooh. All right. Is that the entirety of the house inside?
Not quite yet. We're almost done though.
Okay. Okay. No, it's
And this is just like a linen closet.
Okay.
And then there's the attic hatch, but it's just like a crawl space. You kind of just put boxes up there and that's it.
Mhm.
okay. That feels pretty clean though. Unless you get something I don't.
No, I think what I'm getting is from that room she just left.
Okay.
It's just doesn't feel good in there to me.
Okay.
It's like something's under the bed. Something likes to stay under the bed.
Ah.
I don't know.
Well, I hope it likes reading because all my books are in bins under there. And then this was the master bedroom, still is. This is where his grandmother and his grandfather would have slept for many years. And that's just the front of the house out there on the front yard.
That doesn't feel bad to me. I don't know how it feels to you.
No, it doesn't feel bad to me at all.
And I love all those warm, cozy colors.
Mhm.
I'm such a mole. I could totally do
It's
with
okay, my husband and I are the same way, so.
love. My husband
This-
opens all the shades and I go through and close them all. And
So this is just our kind of walk-in closet for the master bedroom.
okay.
The dog's in there, so she doesn't bark or anything, but she's her own mattress and a fuzzy blanket and a fan on her, so she's
Oh, they love their
happy.
crates. If you crate
Yes.
train a dog, oof, that's
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's their heaven right there. Yeah.
Yes, that's the master bedroom closet, and this is just the master bedroom.
feeling.
Yeah, that room feels nice.
It really
This
does. Yeah.
room is actually where I feel most comfortable with my anxiety. When I have anxiety, I kind of close the curtains, get my weighted blanket, watch
Yeah,
TV, and relax.
I can totally feel it's a very grounded room.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of my corner where I'll do like guided meditations at night to fall asleep. So that's kind of like my little peaceful spot.
Yeah. Because I typically, when there's a bedroom, I will check for whatever's going on over the bed, because there's usually some energetic disturbances over the bed, and this is a very safe room. There's some, I can fix, we can clean up some of the grids, but that's normal anywhere. But no, so that's really nice. No, you guys, that's a really nice room. Very grounded. Yeah. Your husband's a very protective dude.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Like that's his space. When when he walks in, the ghosts walk out. Like
That makes sense. Yeah.
He has a very solid, big energy. And it's just, he doesn't have to come in and say, don't mess with me. That's just his energy.
Right.
Like this
Also,
is my
like
space.
6'2" and a bigger guy. So
yeah, this is my energy. This is my space. This is my family. Yeah. And okay.
So that's all of the first floor. There's the basement, and then there's just the garage outside and the land around it, and that's all that's left so far.
Whew.
Should we go to the basement?
Sure. I'm starting to get that there's a little bit of depressive energy where all of a sudden I just felt like I think I could take a nap. That kind of feeling. So we'll take care of that when that has to do with the way the grids have broken apart and reformed.
Okay. All right, basement. The light switch is ominously at the bottom for the rest of the basement, so we're getting there. I usually hate basements because the house that I grew up in as a kid had a really creepy feeling in the basement and was kind of not really haunted, just visited a lot. So I hate basements.
Yes.
This one doesn't creep me out at all.
Oh, good.
So yeah, it's kind of half renovated, but
okay.
If I'm going too fast, just let me know.
Okay. No, thus far you're fine.
So this was the bathroom, the second bathroom down here. It will be a bathroom eventually, but right now it's kind of just chaotic down here.
I was expecting to be really creeped out down here, and I'm not.
We have to do our weeping tile, so we get a lot of water leakage down here, so it's very like damp and kind of like cold, but this is just the laundry room.
Feels nice, actually.
Yeah.
For cold damp basement.
Yeah. No, it does. It's mostly upstairs and then out in the yard.
Yeah.
And then there's just, this will eventually be like our sort of like a second living room, like a rec room eventually.
Sure.
And then this will be framed out to be a bedroom, like a spare bedroom.
Oof.
We had to cover the windows because we have really, really crappy old windows down here. So in the winter, it gets like -40 sometimes here, like Celsius.
Wow.
So it just gets super cold. So we have to kind of put like insulation and stuff on the windows when it's cold out.
Ooh, now the grids in that corner are bad. But but nothing like paranormal down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the basement.
All right. Not a bad basement.
Is there anything of grandma's down there?
She has a table she had for years. It's covered my husband's tools, but it's an old wooden table.
Okay.
She also had another table. She kept almost everything. in case
Yeah.
you need next to something. But there's an old metal table that was, I think, in the kitchen at one time, or the dining room, the old one. So
Okay.
there's that.
Yeah.
Some of his grandfather's tools. The grandfather that was married to the grandmother, I think they're thrown here. But I think all of her stuff, I think down here, other than those two tables, I think it's gone.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
back then,
the two tables made sense.
and they didn't get rid of stuff back then. You know, when they didn't have a lot of stuff, and
Mhm.
so when they got something, it was
Mhm.
things were also built better then.
Uh-huh.
You
Yeah.
could keep them for 100 years.
I understand.
There's
That
also a
back chair over
small
there for
side
life.
table. There's also a small side table that was hers, but that's
Oh,
kind of just
okay.
being used
Yeah.
for my husband's apple cider brewing.
Oh.
Yum.
And it's just under the stairs, but nothing really there yet. It'll be stored eventually.
Okay.
All right. Nice.
So now that's left is to go outside.
Yes, the front
Okay.
yard, the back, and the side of the house.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
gonna start drumming. You want to
Okay.
walk, because I'm going to ask permission for us to help with the land.
With the land. All right.
Do you want backyard or front yard first? There's the front and the
Yep.
back way.
Wherever you want to go.
Okay, we'll try first. The front yard. Sorry. Put my shoes on real quick. All right. So it just finished raining, so it's a little muggy out, but. So this side of the house, around the corner, is like a small little patch of grass, and it leads into the backyard.
Okay.
You have a pigeon problem right now, so that's probably what you're hearing right now. But there's the front door.
Anything over my drum.
That's okay. There's the front window,
Yeah.
and I'll step off the porch real quick. So there's the breezeway that goes has a side entrance to the garage, where the old side door used to be to go into the house, but that's blocked off now.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll just go to the side of the house on the one side real quick. Just a small patch of grass that goes around to one of the sides of the backyard. You have a huge backyard.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the breezeway and the garage. The garage is also a storage center right now for construction material, so it's a little chaotic in there. So this has been kind of pulled apart. This is all poured concrete. This is where the side entrance door was for the house until we closed all of it off.
Okay.
And that leads out to the backyard. This is just a temporary side door we put up to keep like birds and wildlife out of the garbage for the garage. Oh, there's a chippy in the garage. It's okay, puppy. I'll get out of here when I can. Those are just barn doors that open up to the back of the garage. To the backyard, sorry, from the garage. But yeah, that's the garage.
All right.
All right. All right, so backyard. It's pretty long, so it might take a while to get to the back of it.
All right.
Our lawn goes all the way to like that tree back in there.
Okay.
We started planting some stuff in planters. We want to eventually have a huge garden, but that doesn't happen with having inside renos done first. But
Do you have any problems growing anything out there?
so we planted this crabapple tree about 2 years ago. They take a long time to grow, but like it only blooms, I think, in the spring, early summer. But it blooms beautifully. So that's one thing that we've really
Good.
planted since we moved in.
Okay.
Everything else has just been like in bins until we get
Okay.
a garden, dugout and stuff.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to start fixing grids and
Okay.
etc.
Okay. What do you want me to do?
Whatever you want. What are you drawn to do? Do you want to cross over the indigenous?
The father man?
Yes. Yes. And then of course all the residual from wife and kids and then grandma.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that what you'd like to do, or are you thinking something else?
No,
Okay.
I will do that. I don't know. There's someone or something else that I can't get a hold of yet.
Okay.
So maybe it might just go with
Right.
everyone else. I don't know. We will see.
Oh yeah, now I get him. He like runs around and hides. He's trying not to be seen. Where does he think he is?
Like,
I can't tell if he's also an indigenous, like a teenagery, and he's spying.
yeah. See, he likes to hide under the bed in that one
Yeah.
room.
Yeah, and I see him like he goes and he crouches and he looks around. He doesn't want to be detected, but he's like spying, like he like he would go spy on the other, I don't know what people. I want to say another tribe, but that doesn't feel right. But he would spy somewhere.
I think he'd spy on a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think he would. I think he was very envious of people.
Yeah, I think he was like banished from a tribe or something. So he was like a lone person that went around. He'd steal food. Yeah, to survive. He was surviving on his own.
And he does not want to be seen by the father man.
Right. Yes, the father man.
The father man.
Yeah.
Hopefully he will just cross
Yeah.
over.
So he could also be making you feel, if you get paranoid, I just keep getting paranoid. Like there's really not much to him, just paranoia. Yeah. Paranoid. That's it. I keep trying to come up with another name, and it's like, no, my guy just said, no, it's paranoid. Paranoia. And that could be even, like you said, you got anxious, like getting online with us or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That could be that energy from him. Could also be from grandma. It could, there are a lot of reasons. So hopefully we clear all this up and that gets rid of some of that. So what's yours and what isn't, so we can clear off the rest. But that would certainly, yeah.
What if I go inside and start to rain again?
Go on inside.
Okay.
Yes.
The storm going through, so.
So I never felt, I could feel grandma's energy. I thought it was just all residual.
Uh-huh.
I just got that piece of her. Father man.
Yeah.
I don't know why I call him that, but father man.
They have
they are having the most beautiful conversation right now.
Yeah. That's why that part of her stayed.
One of mutual respect and of gratitude. And there was, she was reluctant and he was encouraging her. You're not leaving me. I'm not leaving you.
Yes.
We can go be healed together now and be whole.
It was it wasn't like a love affair in the sense of like there's that type of thing, but there was a love affair in just the heart, just caring for each other.
The humanity.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Little trauma bonding, but yes. So it wasn't all super healthy, but it wasn't like a love affair, like she was,
No.
that kind of thing.
Not at all.
All right.
Absolutely
Do you
beautiful.
want,
Go ahead.
okay. Let's just start clearing. Mama, come. This land belongs to this family now. We ask for a strong we thank you for this opportunity to heal and grow. We ask for prosperity, guidance. We ask that when they plant their garden, there's abundance of love, growth. We ask that you continue to take care of this land in gratitude and honor. And so it is. That was super fast. There really wasn't a lot to do other than just asking. There really wasn't anything to do. It was really the people that have lived here, the grandparents, the parent, whoever, all, and now your husband and you, so much gratitude has been given. Like you're in such gratitude that you have this opportunity to be here. And it started with grandpa and grandma and just the love for the land. So it was, that was probably one of the quickest that's ever
That's
happened.
you mentioned like the love for the land from his grandparents, because they both came from huge farmer families. Like his grandmother was I think one of the youngest of 14 siblings.
Wow.
And when they lived here, they had like most of the backyard was all garden.
Mm-hmm.
Like vegetable garden.
Yes.
That we would like to do, but
yes, and you will, and it's beautiful and it's waiting for you. Yes. All right. So how have you done?
So everyone's crossed over. I've not done any grids.
Okay, I'll do those.
But there was I did sweep through the energy. I kind of got, caught up in that beautiful relationship of the grandmother and the elder man. And then as all the other residual energy of his indigenous family, other residual energy of the grandmother, it was pretty interesting of how it all just kind of swirled around, and as they crossed over it seemingly went with them. It was pretty beautiful.
Okay. Can you go back into that kitchen now, that area, or what was the kitchen, that area, because that should all be cleaned up now, and then all that residual and
so this is
Ooh. How does it feel to you?
I don't know if I'm like, well, the stove has been on all day, but like I smell almost like, I don't know, that smell you get with like making like greasy food, like that smell. But she would always make like side pork and bacon and like big breakfast. And that's kind of her being like, hey.
Yes, and yes.
But it feels lighter.
Good. Well, she is all put back together now. So
I was worried about that.
Yes. So that smell was not there prior to cleaning it, and then all of a sudden you got that fried smell.
Yeah, I just walked to like about here, and then I was like, wait a minute.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Yes.
Because this used to be where the stove was, and there was a range hood here for like the the smell of food and stuff to go
Yep.
out.
Yep.
Yep.
And it was covered in so much grease because she loved to cook, and which is bad. But for a
Yes.
while, he was like not doing well mental wise, so she just wasn't cleaning. So it was full
And
of
then they
like
can't
grease.
see very well. They can't
Yep.
like they forget if they
Exactly.
clean, and it's just yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that was a nice. See, validation comes in so many different ways.
So many
And
different
you
ways.
smelling that was such a validation that it's done.
Yep.
That it's all the grids are fixed. She's gone.
Yeah.
She's reunited with herself, and yeah, wonderful.
And you know what? I wouldn't even have known that soul pieces were a thing unless I watched you guys. So
Oh,
I've been watching you for over a year now. So, and the grandma just passed like in October. So her death is pretty recent.
yes, that is
Yeah.
very recent. Yes,
Mhm.
and she's probably just real quick, and I won't stay on this, but when we cross over, we go through a lot. We life review, and we go through healing and all of these things. But
Mhm.
there's about 6 months where they're in it. So they are in the life review, they're in the healing, they go through this. It's a lot, and I won't go into all, but you go through a period where you have to not only life review, but then you have to talk about it and what you did wrong and what you did right, and the lessons you learned, the lessons you didn't learn, and you go through everything. So there's in our time, it's like that to them, but for us, there's like 6 months. So that would put her perfectly now, right? October, November, December, January, February, March, April. Yeah, would put her perfectly in the time where she's now done with
She's
all
done.
that,
Yeah.
and she can visit, and she got that piece back, which can happen without us. Just so everyone watching knows, that can happen. However, it's within that time frame where she was still she just got out of all of that healing and everything. She got that piece back, and now she's there saying, here's the smell that I always had. So that is perfect. That is absolutely so. And also, so she hasn't been like, that has not been an issue at all for all this time. I know some people get upset. They're like, oh, I should have done something sooner. Everything's in divine timing. It was meant to happen now.
And that was just a very small piece of her.
Yes.
Okay.
That was specific to this lifetime. So she didn't even need to have it. Honestly, you don't even really need to have it back. But you always want all your pieces back. You want.
Yeah.
So now she can actually take that piece, whatever was left here. She can now heal that and see what she still needs to learn, or what she learned, etc. So this has been wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Do you have
I'm
any
trying not to tear up.
Oh, that's grandma thanking you.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yes. Do you have any questions? I hate to hit you with that when you're
Um,
all teary, but
no, nothing that I can think of.
okay.
Did you want me to go back through the house again, or?
Not unless you want to. It was just really that one space that I want, and it feels really good now.
It does. If you want to go back, if you want to go back to that spare room.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask about.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah, because I didn't get anything when I was in there, so I'd forgotten.
Yeah, the bottom of the bed's kind of just under there.
Yeah. Does that room feel different to you now? It feels different to me, definitely.
This room has always been super quiet. It's kind of at the back of the house.
Yeah.
But it sounds a lot more quieter.
I don't like more quiet.
The
I understand
off,
that. Yeah.
We don't have central AC, so we have fans everywhere going just to blow like the window air conditioner air around.
Yeah.
Like it just feels like just calm and quiet. It's nice.
Yes.
Good.
Well, he's out of there. He is
gone.
Paranoid little booger. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. This
Wonderful.
has been so wonderful. We're so glad you reached out.
No, thank you.
And so, by reaching out, you crossed over. You got 2 earthies crossed over. You got grandma's piece back to her.
Yep.
And then that residual energy, which really isn't really here or there, but it's always nice to get rid of it so you don't have to deal with it anymore.
Mhm.
So you had a lot, it was really very good of you to reach out. That all needed to be done.
For not having really many paranormal experiences, you had some paranormal going on.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
I was surprised I pick up on more because as a kid, I would see things and stuff, and as an adult, I only saw those few things here, and I'm like,
Well,
I don't think these were like here, but maybe she's like an
each thing
energy
was
here.
very, yes,
Yeah.
but each thing was so different in its own right.
Yeah.
That it doesn't surprise me at all that you really didn't feel a whole lot, or there was nothing there trying to scare you. There was nothing there trying to get your attention. There was a whole love affair going on that you didn't know about. And then the kid was just trying to stay the hell away from you, but he wanted to look, and he was paranoid every time you walked by the room or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah.
You did a beautiful thing, and Grandma is so pleased.
Perfect.
So happy.
Yeah.
Yay. Thank you so much.
Yes.
No problem. Thank you, ladies. You've taught me honestly so much, and my husband doesn't believe in this kind of stuff, so he'll watch like the spooky, like unsolved mystery videos, and on YouTube, and all the time there'll be like ghost ones. He's like, "Have you heard of this one? Like, what's happening here?" And I'm like, "Mom, I'm not a medium. I can't tell you, but I watch these two ladies on YouTube that are psychic mediums, and this is like generally what happens when this is happening."
Yes.
So
you'll make a believer out of him sooner or later.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's the teacher side of me from being a teacher's assistant for a little bit, but I kind of just info dump on him.
Keep info dumping on him, and you'll get him to come around. He already he just hasn't said it out loud yet. He's curious, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's curious.
That's awesome.
I have one question actually, real quick. So literally just yesterday, my camera to flip around, I bought that chair used from Facebook Marketplace. So it came from somebody else's home. I'm assuming with like the house clearing, whatever potentially energy was there would have been
gone. Gone. Yeah, everything gets cleared off. Yes, if something comes up and you feel like it hasn't, or something else happens, just reach out to us again, and we'll just take care of it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So for those of you watching, if you have activity or you think something's going on, please reach out. Let us know. We want to come in and take care of it. Do the healings on the house, on the earthies, on whoever.
This was the absolute perfect example of having stuff there that needed taken care of. People needed to be crossed over. Energies needed to be sent back. Grids needed to be fixed. And she wasn't sure. Courtney wasn't sure, but she reached out anyway. And look what she did. You healed people. I mean, it was a beautiful experience. So even if we don't, or we think, I think you even said this, you're like, nah, I don't want to, seem stupid or whatever. There's nothing here. I'm not going to. We're so glad you did, and Grandma's so glad you did, and those other, the indigenous man and then the indigenous teenager, they needed to be crossed over, so they're healed now. So what a beautiful experience. So we are at TCS everydaypsychics.com. You can email us through there, and we will get back to you and take care of things. All right.
Thank you again, Courtney.
Thank you.
And thank you everyone for watching.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.